Hi guys, today we're going to be planting our grapes. Okay, as you saw from one of the earlier episodes, we've got two grapes that we're going to plant. We're going to plant them along the side of the polytunnel. Now, if you remember before, we had that step up in the polytunnel. So what we've been doing is we've been just sort of digging it away, and I will give you a view of that in a moment. But the first thing we've got to do, I don't know if you can pick it up at the moment, but this is what we're doing. So we're digging this ground away, okay? And so what we've got to do, we've got to get this flat, and then we can dig our holes for the grapes, and we can go from there, and we will show you exactly how to plant your grapes and what we will be doing to get them inside without because we want to plant them outside, and the reasons for that. Okay, so anyway, that's all I'm going to say for the moment. I'm going to let you just have a quick view of what we're up to, and then we'll come back to the video and go from there. Okay guys, so what we've done here, we've dug it out. It's about 1.5 feet deep, okay, as you can see, and we've created a ramp at that end, and they'll take us up onto the other level. The reason we wanted to dig down is because of the polytunnel itself, and what you'll see is all the grass that came through here. You can be able to just see it there, okay? All that grass was coming from outside and growing up underneath. By digging down now underneath this lip, that can't happen. What we will do, we will put down bark chip along here and up the ramp onto the sort of compost area. But what we're going to do now, we're going to dig a hole now for our grapes, okay? And we want our grapes to be outside, and the reason for that is because of obviously the moisture and the root run and everything else. They're going to have loads of root run out here, and it doesn't matter where they go. But grapevine roots are quite shallow, so they like to run, but they like free draining soil. So this is quite clay. Now clay is quite good for holding the nutrients and things, but grapevines don't need the nutrients, but it will hold the nitrogen that they're going to need. So what we're going to do, we're going to dig quite a large hole considering the size of the grapevine that we've got, okay? And it's going to be just total clay here, as you can see. And in an earlier episode we spoke about the support system that we're going to use, and that was what we put in when we built the polytunnel in the first place. Now, as I said, grapevines don't like their feet in water, so we're going to have to add some sort of gravel or grit to this hole. And what you want to do when you get it done, you want to just break up the edges a little bit, because it is all clay here. The roots need something to get a grip hold of, so we're going to dig the two holes nice and deep so we can get a good fair whack of gravel in it, or some stone, broken pots, anything like that, you know, something that's just going to allow the water to drain away from the roots. Now I will be putting a little bit of compost in with these, but you don't want to overdo the compost in when you're planting your grapevine, because like I said, the compost will produce a lot of leaf growth and vine growth, which is what we want in the first couple of years. But after that, we don't need that. We want it to produce good fruit. and for it to produce good fruit, it requires quite poor soil. Okay, so in fact, guys, if you look down here, there's quite a lot of stone in it, so that's perfect. It's actually going to drain really well. So all I'm going to have to do is break this up. So even though there's clay there, if I just break that up, I will add some more gravel. It's nice and deep now, and there you go. I'll pull some more of that out, and then I'll add some gravel. So we're not going to need to add loads to it because of the stone that's in there. I think I'll do. As you can see, guys, I'm going to get the plant. Bear with me one sec. Now, these plants are just 1 year plants. They're first sort of grafted, and we bought them, and they're now just starting to shoot. So it's ideal time to get them in the ground. Now we've got two, and they're called Musket of Alexandra, and they're grafted. Here's the graft, as you can see, and this is like a wax that they've put on them. So we want to be planting these now up to the level of the soil. But when we plant them, as you can see, I've dug a fairly large hole here. Now the idea for us is to take the vine into the polytunnel, and when we take this vine into the polytunnel, we'll then train it along the trellis. Now in its first year, we're going to be just we'll allow both these shoots here to grow, and whichever one's the best, we'll take that one into the polytunnel and we'll cut the rest off. And we'll take that shoot as one main stem right away to the top of the trellis that we're going to use, and then next year we'll start training some side shoots off, okay? But we've dug a nice big hole for it so that the roots are going to have a good start. So I'm going to get some gravel in here. Okay guys, so as you can see in the hole here now, we've chucked in a load of gravel, okay? I'm just going to chuck a load of water down in it as well, just to make sure there's plenty of water down there. Okay, and what we're going to do, as you can see, this is just pure clay. All right, we're going to enrich it a little bit with some broken down manure. Okay, not a huge amount, but we're just going to get some manure in there just to give it something to bite its teeth into. Here we are. Right, it's just enough to get it going. We don't need huge amounts. And again, we're going to put in a load of blood, fish and bone, which will feed it and give the root development a good chance to get going. There we go. Right. Okay, so as you can see, it's still a very poor mix, but it'll be enough for this plant. And what we're going to do, we're just going to take the plant out of the pot, just give it a tap. We'll have a look at what the structure on it's like. Okay, this was well watered beforehand. It's got a little bit of feed left in it, but as you can see, there's nothing major as far as the roots go. They're okay, but so what we want to do, we want to plant this now at an angle like that. You know, look, it's all falling out from around us. So I'm going to put some soil down there. And we don't want to be planting it any higher than this section here where it was in the pot, okay? So that's where you need to keep it held onto. But we're angling it towards the polytunnel because ultimately that's where we're going to be taking it. And we're out about, I don't know, 2 foot, or maybe 2 foot, maybe about a foot from the polytunnel itself. But it's not a problem because the roots can go down. Here we go. Now, as I said earlier on, it's really important that that we get the give it a firming, it's really important that we get the keep around the roots clear and weed free. Now what you'll usually find is that you know, there's going to be all sorts of roots wanting to grow up here and everything else, but we are going to put some cardboard down on this. So I'll just spread all this out now. We're going to put some cardboard down on it, and then we are going to mulch this quite heavily with some bark chip and things like that. Okay guys, so that's how we will plant it. What we will do inside, we will do a video on it. We're going to run some timber from this timber here down to the baseboard, and we're going to create a little window, and we'll staple this plastic to that and put a bit of trim around it just to tidy it up and stop it moving, and then the vine will go in through that and it will be netted like the windows are down there. Okay, so so that's what we're going to be looking at. Okay, so this one now is in and it can go away, and it just leaves us now to give it a good puddle in. Like I said, it's poor soil because grapes don't need shed loads of nutrients. So it's going to have a really good puddle in. This will just sink down now through the clay. The manure will get involved and everything else. So there we have it. And that's it. So we'll wait for these two shoots to really take off now, and the best one we'll keep, and we will clip the other out entirely. So that's that planted. I'm just going to get on with the other one. So the next thing we need to do here now is get some cardboard down on the ground, wet that, and then we're going to bark chip this whole area. Okay, the other grapevine that you didn't see us planting is here, and what this is going to do inside when we do take them in, and we'll do a video on that as well, when we do take them in, it's going to allow us to take each grapevine 4 feet, and we're going to train them on like the espalier method, where they're going to come up to a wire, grow across, and the grapes will grow down from there, and then a second one will come up and grow across as well. So that way this whole wall will be grapes. Each grapevine will grow 4 foot. So this grapevine here is going to come across to this post here, and also across to this post over here, and then it'll go up to the second layer. So it's going to take a couple of years, probably 2 or 3 years, for it to get a really good structure. Okay, obviously we've dug this down now, and at parts it's nearly 2 feet deep. We've taken a lot of soil away from here, but what it's going to stop is all this green grass getting inside. We don't want that getting into the polytunnel all the time. So now we've taken the level down, and you know, before we just dug a little ditch there so that that water didn't come into the tunnel on the plastic and things like that, but we needed to deal with that. So we're going to get these windows out of the way. These are the pull-out windows that come out to the tunnel. So we'll just lay them down there for the moment. And just one thing I want to say about when you put cardboard down, guys, make sure there's no plastics in it. Loads of people, you know, I've seen them in lots of different things, putting down sort of cardboard, and there's loads and loads of plastics in them, and that's not good, because you know you're going to be digging that up and everything else. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to feed this right away up here, and we're just going to start it from back here. I'll stamp it down because this is wider than the gap that we require. What we're going to do is try and bend, there we are, try and bend these things down in a way so that most of the ground is covered. There we are, guys, excellent. So I'm going to rip this piece off. I'm going to turn this one this way because we'll get most covered like that. Let's try not to leave any gaps. There you go, that had a bit of tape on it, look. So we'll put that there, we'll get rid of that in a second. Okay, and by doing this, it's just going to help keep the weeds at bay. It's a pain in the backside when weeds start growing through the wood chips, so by doing this we won't have to worry about it. Excuse my backside facing you. So this is the sort of method that we're going to use to cover it down. We're then going to cover it all over in some nice big ones here, but there's a fair bit of tape on them, so we need to pull all this off, or as much as we can, because if we ever decide to dig this area, the last thing we want to be doing is pulling all sorts of tape out of it and everything else. But all the paper and stuff like that can stay on there, guys. You know, we don't need to take them off. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut here, and I will come back to you when we've got the cardboard down, because the next stage then will be to wet this cardboard. I'm going to have to set the pump up and things like that. So what I'll do now, I'll come back to you once all this cardboard is down, guys. Okay, so now we're going to have a talk about our water here. As you can see, we have 2 IBCs on this side of the polytunnel and 2 IBCs on the other side. The other side's getting a little low because I've been using it. But obviously, if we have any rain, these are totally full. They can't fill up anything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this water to wet down that cardboard as we spoke about. Now, as you know, there's no taps here, so we have to do everything a little different. So we've got these IBCs, and in these IBCs, for those of you that haven't already seen it, I have a little 12-volt water pump, okay? And that goes onto some onto some PVC pipe, and then onto this corrugated black hose, okay? Which is 3/4 of an inch thick. I've had to step it down to get it onto like a rose for watering, okay? And if I left it at the inch pipe, it would just be too powerful. This will empty an IBC in around about 8 minutes, so that's 1,000 litres. It's a 3,000 gallon an hour pump. So we've got the electric wire, okay, and we've actually taken it over. It's a 12-volt pump. Normally we have a separate battery, but what we've done in this case is we've just brought it straight over to the car, and we've got it on the car here. So all it leaves me to do is put this on, okay, and then we can water. I'm going to set the camera back up so you can see, and then I'm going to come and turn the water on. We'll water that down. Okay, the water should be coming through the pipe about now. There it comes. Once it moves out all the air out of it, it'll be alright. There we go. So we're just going to give this a good wetting. You'll have to excuse the noise. There's still a lot of air in the pipe in a minute because it hasn't been used all winter. And this should just help to hold this in place underneath the bark chip. Now, as you notice, guys, here I haven't put any around the grapevines, and the reason for that is I want to be able to dig there if I need to, or add composts and things like that, or fertilizers, or whatever the case being. Even though they require poor soil, there may be a time I need to put something there. So we haven't got any cardboard around those, okay? We'll give them a little drink while they're here. They already had a good drink, but a little bit more won't hurt them. And this, incidentally, guys, is the way I water all my crops. Too much hard work doing it all by... Right, that will do us. I'll just leave that there a minute. Too much like hard work doing it all by watering cans, especially when you've got, you know, so much land like I have. But I'm going to leave that off at the moment now. but I'm leaving it set up because I'll use it later on means it's set up. Okay, but like I said, this is the way that we usually water. That's better. It's much wetter now, so it'll stay in place while we do what we need to do, and it'll break down a bit quicker. Oh, marvellous. Cup of tea off, Craig. Let me just turn the camera off, Craig. You staying over or you going up?
Yeah, I thought you said.
No, I can turn that off. Craig's bought me a cup of tea, guys, so I'll be back in a moment. So we're back now after having a quick cup with Craig. Very kindly made me a cup of coffee, which is really nice of him. So if you're watching, Craig, thank you very much. Right, so what we need to do now, okay, we need to get in the bark chip onto this soil. So I'm just going to grab my fork. We've moved the hose out of the way for the meantime, and we're going to put the coarse bark chip around here. Now, eventually we will run over this with the magnet roller thing, but we haven't built one yet. I've still got the boxes one here, but that's an up and coming project which will be over the next week or two. But I want to have a quick chat with you about the AGM. Now, on last Sunday, some of you will already know from our Facebook group, so if you're not a member of that, guys, get over and sign across to it, because you find out what's happening a lot quicker than you would via YouTube. I'll put a link in the description below, but you can also search for Grow Your Own with Allotment Friends. And but on there I mentioned about what had happened with the AGM last Sunday. Now, as you guys know from the last episode, we did a walk around the plots, and we managed to get an agreement out of the committee on Sunday that they were going to spend the little money they had in the bank, sort of to get this stuff sorted. So what everybody's got to do is get all the rubbish they have and take it down to the bottom of the plots. Now, obviously, I don't want to be leaving that, but basically we've got 6 weeks to get everything down there, which is nice because I know now, after 6 weeks, hopefully the plots will look a lot better. So what I'm doing now, I'm just smoothing this down, just getting a good layer on it, and we'll run over this then with that thing that we're going to make, that sort of magnet thing. Whether I'll use it again, I don't know, but at least I can go over all my paths and take out any nails that are in this stuff, and if it becomes available to us again, great, we can use it. So anyway, back to the agreements there. People are going to have been told that they've got to clean their plots up, they have to cultivate them, and they've got 6 weeks to get everything down, at which point, after the 6 weeks, I think in 8 weeks the committee are going to walk around all the plots, and they're going to dish out letters to anybody who isn't complying, which is good. I haven't had no trouble from the video as such. I'm in the process of talking to a few MPs with regards to getting the council to allow us back down to the tip, and I've taken a load of photos of fly tipping and stuff in the area, which you guys haven't seen, but I may put them up on the Facebook group if you're interested in seeing them. If you are, put in the description below if you're interested in seeing the fly tipping photos I have, about what it's like around this area. All the photos have been taken in less than a 2 square mile area, so it's not huge amounts, like, you know, but make sure this place survives, because there's a few of us for a lot of working up here, and unfortunately it doesn't show because everybody else is not doing it. Anyway, this is getting on, so I'm going to drop off here. I'm going to get this bark chip down. We'll have a quick look before we finish this episode. As you can see, we're all bark chipped right the way along. It's about, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches deep, so with the cardboard as well, it should keep the weeds down in there, and we're right along here. The only place we haven't done at the moment is in there, and I will sort that out, but that certainly makes up alongside the polytunnel much neater. I can store stuff here now. The grapes are in. In a later episode we will take the grapes into the polytunnel, but we won't be doing that today. It's too hot, and I've got all seedlings and stuff along there, so we won't be doing that today. But as long as the grapes are in the ground, that was the main thing. But like I said, it's going to take a little while now for this to settle and flatten down and everything else. We'll take it up onto this banking around where the where all the compost is. Just want to show you as well while I'm here. This is the compost I made, I don't know if you can see it, the other day, with the chicken manure that came out of the chicken pens when I cleaned them the other day, and the grass cuttings that I collected off the side of the road, and we mixed it up and we've put it in here. Now I just want to show you, or see if you can see how hot this is getting, because it is roasting. I don't know if you're picking up that steam coming out of there, guys, but it is boiling in there. You can see the ash already where it's all burning, and it's really hot. I wish I had a probe to test it, because I think that it's not going to be long, and it's the same no matter where you go. It's absolutely piping. So like again, I don't know if you can see that steam, but there's obviously a good cook going on there, so I'm happy with that. Hopefully we'll get to use that very shortly. Anyway guys, that's it for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy this weather while it lasts, guys. See you in the next episode. Bye.